Welcome to the Rotary Club of Bearden. We'd like to
record.
welcome all visiting Rotarians and guests. I'm going to ask that you silence your phones and lead us in this song. Unfortunately, we've got Sam Carey.
All right. I don't know if I'm in the right key or not, but let's give it a try. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea.
Sam, you threw me off a little bit that time. Usually you have a lead in before you start singing.
Wait till next week.
All right, David Loon, do you lead us in the pledge?
I will. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roy Deidiger, can you lead us in the invocation?
Bow your head, please. Dear Lord, we praise you and we thank you for helping our hearts rest in your presence. Thank you for the sacrifice you made for us on the cross. It is in that assurance that we find truth, grace, and mercy. Our hearts are overwhelmingly grateful. Thank you, Lord, for the provisions we receive by the generosity of our members, connected businesses, and others that allow Rotary to perform as many projects throughout our community and the world. Thank you for the food and fellowship that we're enjoying here today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Kelly Benito, you want to do guest and visitors?
All right, we are fortunate today to have Paul West visiting from the from the Maryville Club. Thanks for being here. And Jennifer, would you like to introduce your guest?
This is Mark Morrell. He's got a company here in town called Knoxtel. They're a telecommunications company. So, friend line with guest today.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Kelly. Bruce Van Cleve, readers, and also you want to mention the wine?
Oh, yeah.
All right, reading today we have Rosa Marr, Jim Kris, and Sam Carey. We're reading at Pine Gap, and then we have 3 more weeks. We still could use an extra reader or 2 on May 5th and May the 12th, so we'll start the sign up around. Also, just a follow up on Casino Night. Appreciate everyone's participation and support of that evening. Last Saturday we had 75 Rotarians and guests participate, so we had a fun time. Things went well. For those of you who weren't there, I've left a brochure program on your table. You can see who our table sponsors were, game table sponsors, and our auction items. So these are people that help make it possible and have a great evening. And most importantly, the insert lists the projects that we've been involved with for the last year and a half to 2 years. And so this is a good summary of the things that we're involved with. The funds that were raised Saturday night go to fund the 23-24 program year. So that'll be under Kelly. So these funds will be supporting the projects for next year. So right now it looks like we'll break just a little over $26,000 in net revenue for that event. So thank you to each of you for your support and help with that project. Also, there's a survey on your table. Lorna, who's vice president for next year, will be in charge of our fundraiser, and she's just looking for some input on things that went well this year, things that could be improved on, any suggestions for for new ideas. She definitely would suggest, appreciate any input on that. So if you have suggestions, ideas that don't have a pen, you can email her or me. Excuse me, and we'll take those suggestions under consideration. Last but not least, we have almost 16 bottles of wine left over. I have those over here on the table, so if you're interested in a nice white wine or Cabernet.
Break them open.
I don't want to upstage our guests. They brought coffee, so so if you're interested, $10 a bottle. See me afterwards, and we can have Paul bill you, or got cash, and we can make change too as well. So, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
And the $10 goes to the club. I didn't say it before, but Bruce, I just want to thank you. That doing that event is an enormous amount of work, and Bruce worked really hard on it and really did a good job.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to give him a thanks. Paul West is our assistant governor that is in charge of the club, and I guess I answered to him. He said I need to answer better going forward, but he did want to make an announcement. One, I wanted to introduce him, and then also I wanted to, he wanted to make an announcement.
Thanks, Jim. I've got a late reminder here. About a month ago, we were first starting to put together a service project for World Rotary Day, and there's been a little bit of confusion throughout what was going to be our original date, what could be a rain date. It turns out that the work that we have scheduled can be done rain or shine, so that's good. So we just have one date, and it's tomorrow. So the service project will be held at the Wesley House Community Center. That's at 1719 Reynolds Street here in Knoxville. And it's going to begin at 8:30 in the morning and run till about noon. Now, the more people we have participate, the sooner we'll be over. We'll get everything done for the day. It looks like most everything will be interior, so it doesn't matter if it rains or not. They need some help kind of organizing their donations, and so I think that's going to be the bulk of what we're doing, is just trying to organize everything. There's going to be a little bit of painting involved from what I understand, and some shelving installation in a couple rooms. So we would really appreciate everybody coming out and joining us for this. It's a great opportunity to bring a guest and show them a little bit about what Rotary is, how we help our local community here. So it's a great opportunity to possibly gain some new members. But we'd love to see you at Wesley House at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Paul. As he said, one of the issues we did have, it kind of went back and forth. There was some confusion for a little while as exactly what day we're going to do. But this is a project we do every year jointly with the other clubs. So if anybody can make the Wesley House tomorrow at 8:30, it'd be greatly appreciated. It'll be with the other Knoxville clubs, Farragut, Downtown, and Breakfast and Volunteer. Hopefully we'll have some volunteers. And if anybody has any questions, they can see me or Paul afterwards, maybe more Paul. I guess the other thing I'd mention is I know at least a couple of clubs, maybe 3, are kind of helping out on the water mission. That's May 6th, where they're doing a walk, a fundraiser at Lakeshore. You're sent a link out if you want to volunteer to walk, or if you want to volunteer to just help out on the event, and or they accept donations. And if you have any questions, you can see me afterwards on that one. And I guess with that, do we have any other announcements before we introduce the speaker? David, are you?
I'm ready.
Yep.
Our speaker today is Kris Bowers, and I was going to, he didn't give me his bio until yesterday, and so when I was looking up some stuff on him just to throw it out there, I basically, instead of doing a bio, I was just going to show this picture. Because he is a fascinating individual just from what you can find on the internet. I will read his bio and let him tell a little bit more about himself. But Kris Bowers started a coffee shop, him and his wife started a coffee/tea shop here in Bearden called Intrepid. It's been open about a month, and as Dick and whoever knows, I spend about 3 or 4 days a week in coffee shops, so this is my new home. Kris is not afraid of much. He has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, is a competitive mountain bike rider, a new business owner, and father of 3 young adult daughters. He and his wife, who has joined us here today, moved from California to Tennessee to experience new life and possibility. And since landing here, they wish they had made the move years ago. So please join me in welcoming Kris Bowers.
Thank you, David. It's been a while since I've actually spoken in front of people. Previous life was being a pastor and speaking a lot. And so coming here today is like bringing back a lot of memories. Like David said, my name's Kris Bowers. My wife, Susan. We're newer to Tennessee. We've been here for 2 years. We have 3 daughters. They're older. They're 18, 19, and 21. A little bit about me is my job history was construction, doing a lot of hands-on work. Then went back to school, got my master's in divinity, became a pastor, then went back into itinerant ministry, so to speak, in the corporate world, and oversaw huge construction projects of millions and millions of dollars, and having a great income and being here, and the way of life is here is great, and just had this crazy idea, and let's go from a very good paycheck to having nothing. Let's start a coffee shop. And it's funny, I believe that a lot of our ideas and dreams that just come to us, that we feel that are crazy, are just God-given. They're dreams that we should go pursue, these ideas that we should pursue, because those are ideas that the world needs to see. So, and you don't know where these ideas come from or how they really come about, and they're often just weird, crazy, and you're like, you never expect it. So my wife bought me a 64-ounce nitro keg 2 years ago, and she says I'm hard to buy for. I don't see how I'm hard to buy for, but so she says I have everything, and I do. I do. So I'm having this nitro keg at my house. I was actually overseeing a project in Rhode Island, and was driving to my project, had my nitro coffee, and just was geeking out over the whole thing. It was fun learning about the coffee and how to brew it and how much nitro works best for each coffee, and just running through all these fun things I've been learning about. And at that time, I got sponsored by a coffee shop or a coffee roastery in Massachusetts. Then I got sponsored by a maple syrup company. And so I started putting these things together. I'm like, oh my gosh, it'd be so cool to have a craft coffee shop like a brewery where you can come in and taste all the different coffees from different origins, from different regions of the country, and single origin, small batch stuff, and have a tasting of it. Like you can go to a brewery and have taps, and everything be nitroed. And then my wife's like, cool, we can do a coffee, that's fine, that's great, but you gotta have tea. And I'm like, okay. So we started diving into tea and figuring things out with that, and had this crazy idea of like, what if we just opened up a coffee shop? This was last year. And I pitched this idea that I just had. I'm like, what if we made a coffee shop where you can come in and taste everything? It's all nitro tapped. We have espresso. We do the traditional stuff, but we will not have artificial flavorings. We will only have Vermont organic maple syrup, and we'll have a local honey. That's all you need. We don't need to cover up our taste with our coffee. And she loved it, and I'm like, all right, cool. We got thumbs up there, but what are we going to call it? And I'm like, immediately had the name Intrepid Nitro Coffee and Tea Bar. And a lot of people ask, what's Intrepid? Well, Intrepid is about being fearless. You know, we weren't meant to have fear in our lives. We're meant to go out and experience life and life to the fullest. So how do we do that? We do that boldly without fear. And sometimes fear is what keeps us from having pursuing our ideas and dreams. And I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, I'm done with that. I couldn't really pursue that in California just because of how expensive it is, and it just won't work. And here, I'm like, let's just do it. What's the worst that can happen? Lose a little bit of money and go back to project management. It's not the end of the world, but it's at that point in your life when you just have to go and pursue something that may scare you. Being scared is okay because it shows how much humility you have. So here we are a year later, and did all the TI work in our shop over here, and we just celebrated our first 30 days, and we're doing it, and it's fun, it's great, and people come in and go, I've never experienced this type of coffee shop. I'm like, great, cool, because I don't want you to experience our coffee shop to be like everybody else's coffee shop. I'm not here to fit in the mold. I'm here to break the mold. I'm here to create a new category of what we say coffee shop. I want it to be a craft experience. I don't want you come in and just going, oh, our baristas are snobby and they don't care about anything except throw me my drink and leave me alone, so I can get back on my phone. I want our baristas to be like a bartender and communicate with you, ask you how your day is going. Oh, what do you want to taste? Talk you through each origin of the coffee and tea. We have tea. We have that's our heart behind that, and to create just a good experience, and to use and with our products, using as local as possible. Our tea lady creates all of the tea and puts it all together right here in Bearden. Our local honey comes from Maryville. And then we have a local roaster roasting sunflower coffee beans. Then we use a small roaster in Massachusetts. And then, of course, Vermont maple syrup. You can't get here, sorry. But, at least we're using a real maple syrup. It's not high fructose corn syrup. So we're just changing the way it is for coffee shops, and it's actually a healthier version of your stereotypical coffee shop. So, if you want, we have a couple nitro taps over there. You can come over here and get some tastings of two coffees. One's a diesel, it's called diesel. So it's a dark. It's really robust and has a lot of good flavors of chocolate and sweetness. And that's a blend of Honduran and Costa Rican, I think. And then the other one's a straight Ethiopian, single origin, small batch, limited release type of bean. And you can taste the difference between them. And that's kind of what's fun about it, is you can come in and taste all of these different coffees. And we have decaf on Nitro Tap. Then we have organic beans. So I know some people can't drink regular coffee beans, so we bring in organic beans and fair traded beans. So we're trying to be as healthy, new, and bring in local companies and be ethically as good as possible. That's what we're called to do, right? So, is there anything else? I'm gonna ask her. She's the real communicator. So,
Question. So what's the nitro? Is that the nitrogen?
yeah. So nitrogen is just tiny little gas bubbles. So most places you go to they have one nitro tap and they use a gas cylinder about this big. It's often not 100% nitrogen, and it runs out and it just creates issues. What we do differently is we have a nitrogen generator that produces 100% nitrogen constantly into the kegs. So you get a consistent, creamy feel to the mouth when you're drinking the coffee and tea. Nitrogen takes out a lot of the acidity in coffees, brings out a lot of the flavors that you should be tasting, and it naturally sweetens the drink too, without added calories.
Is that a cold brew?
It is cold. However, we do have a hot nitro, which we were one of the first people to have it in the country. So we're super excited for that.
That's what I was struck. It was cold. Both of those are cold, I guess.
Those ones are
And I had one. It's really robust, very tasty.
Thank you.
It's strong.
That's probably the
But
diesel.
it is good.
It's probably the
It's
diesel.
probably the diesel. Strong and robust. I love it.
It doesn't have a bite to it as far as aftertaste or anything.
No. So one of the things that a lot of you, if you ever have had nitro before at any other coffee shop, you'll taste it and then you'll have this almost sour taste. That can be multiple things. One usually is the coffee beans are over roasted and they're burnt, so you get this weird flavor at the end of it. And the second thing, what we do differently is I control how much nitrogen goes into each tank, and we're set at 60 psi versus that's pound square inch versus 40 psi, which industry standard for coffee shops put in nitrogen. So we're putting in quite a bit more nitrogen to make it even that much better tasting and smoother.
We keep hearing about all these people from California moving to Knoxville. How did y'all make it to Knoxville?
Yeah, so I worked all over the country and have never found a place where I'm like, oh, I can move here. Southern California was what I knew and what I grew up with. I would go to the beach and then 2 hours go snowboarding. And it was just a rad place to be, and grew up racing motocross and, had land. And growing up and being older now, just looking at everything, how it is, we just knew that this was going to be the place. However, we didn't know how it would impact us until we actually showed up at my sister's nursery in Crossville. So if you guys ever go up there, go to Crossville, go to Dirty Girls Nursery. It's my sister's nursery. It's amazing. She rebuilt a Rock City barn. So very fun, very fun. So we were visiting her for the first time in Tennessee and sitting on her porch, and never experienced so much peace in my life. The rat race of California, the high anxiety, the push was just embedded in my DNA, and I didn't know any better. I thought this is the way life should be. And sitting on my porch, my sister's porch, I was just sitting there. I'm like, it's gone. It's like I've never had this much peace in my life. And so we go back to California a week and a half later, and we're selling everything, we're moving. So 6 months later, we were here in Tennessee, sold everything, and moved to Crossville and bought a house up there. And so, that's how we ended up here. And then, our heart from the beginning was to come to Knoxville, because Knoxville reminds us of San Diego in many ways. The food's great. You got water. You got city life. It's just our hearts come full circle to the Vols and going to 2 games this past year. And it's just like, this is the most amazing.
Yeah, we drank the
city.
water for sure.
Oh yeah, we drank the water. And
Do you still live in Crossville?
we do have a couple of Airbnbs in Crossville.
But you live here.
We live here.
So where's your coffee shop located, and do you serve food also?
Yeah, so if you go down Kingston Pike, I'm trying to think, Kingston Pike right here, and it's about 3/4 mile on your left-hand side. You know where Hana Sushi, across from Hana Sushi or
Nama
Harvest?
sushi.
Nama Sushi. How do you say it?
We're on Mohican and
Mohican, Kingston Pike, right next to Subway and River Dog, Dog Treats. So right next there, just 3/4 mile down the road, on the left-hand side.
How'd your sister end up out here?
She had a dream. She had an idea. And
Crossville was.
It's a big dream. There it is.
So her and her business partner traveled around some places, and he was a master arborist and nursery person. He designed and planted all the plants at Disneyland. So he's that guy. He knows where to plant. And him and my sister went out here and found a place in Crossville, 10 acres, and this old barn, and she just had the vision. She just had the idea. She's like, this is where we're going. And yeah, they're out here doing it.
She started it.
Yeah, she started it. So it's, yeah, we can blame her for bringing us out. But it's been awesome.
Curious about your sister's business. How far, there's quite a nursery business over near Murfreesboro. Is she accessing the marketplace from Crossville, or is it just the regional area that she's in? I'm just kind of curious where she's.
I would say
It's local.
it's local.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
They have 6 greenhouses, so they're growing, but it's not a huge
I got you.
conglomerate.
So it's just servicing the Crossville.
Yeah, and they renovated the barn, and so it's a place to go have all scratch-made food. So it's a venue and
Boutique sort
yeah.
of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Drew, I can
Live
get her as a
music
speaker if you want.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she's
She'd love
my
it.
sister's amazing. But yeah, just the heart of entrepreneurship. And we just appreciate everybody, the local businesses coming in and cheering us on. And it's been awesome. It's been such a great experience.
I think somebody asked, but it was a two-part question. Do you serve food too?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we do. We have a local baker baking cookies that are stuffed with
Great.
all the goodness. Some cookies are stuffed with Rice Krispie treats, and others with Nutella and peanut butter. And just, she's amazing. So she's a local baker we use, and then we have another local baker that does the croissants and turnovers and danishes, all fresh. And she's in transition, switching kitchens, so we don't have her stuff on right now. But those are our 2 bakers we use. Then we have just your simple bacon or the sausage egg biscuits that we throw in the air fryer and cook it up for you real quick. And that's just recently because our baker can't get us anything. So that might not last for very much longer. So yes, we do serve food. We are planning to do special event nights. We're working on getting our liquor license, do special events at night. We're catered food. We're all nitro.
We've got wine available.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Price.
Good price.
We'll nitro bourbon and whiskey, and just have small nights and small events. And
Did you say nitro whiskey?
Yeah. You can nitro anything.
Yeah, it'll be really good.
How many employees do you have?
We have, well, we just lost one, but he is moving. 5?
Yeah.
5, yeah. Plus us.
But we don't get paid.
Yeah. Sorry.
Roger, like this, I'm not a very good coffee drinker, actually. But my wife and I just recently went to Costa Rica. And you mentioned Costa Rica.
Oh, yeah.
And we had some of that coffee, and I liked it. It was much smoother and not as harsh as
acidic.
most of the coffee you get around here.
Yep.
Are you using some of
100%.
that?
Yeah, we just, I made 2 batches. It's a limited release, Costa Rican, single origin, and that's the only place it is. So, yes, we do, and I have more that I'll brew up. I personally love South American beans. They're smoother, they're less acidic, less fruity. I'm not a fruity coffee person. I'd rather be rich and chocolatey, sweet versus a plant, which is not my taste, but others.
And you do roast your own beans.
We have a local roaster
Okay.
doing our beans. In our next location, and thereafter, we'll probably have our own roaster and roasting.
That's kind of an art form too, isn't it?
Oh, it's 100%
Yeah,
art form.
big time.
Yeah, it's something I haven't dove into yet because
You're gonna have to go to school. Huh?
yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
Pretty much.
no.
That's it. You don't just turn the oven on.
Yeah.
Turn it on
Turn the
to 4,000. What happens?
I've got a great story I can tell you after this.
Nice. All right.
We went up to Blue Mountain, got some raw beans, and I brought them back to the condo and thought, I'm gonna roast me some coffee.
Oh, no.
It was real bad.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
The adventure was all about.
we have a local, a good friend of ours is one of the doctors here, and he roasts his own beans down in his basement. And he's you know, like me, like just geeks out over this stuff. And I told him he's the member on the Pedal for Alzheimer's, and such a great guy. And I'm like, tell you what, we'll bring your beans on for like a reserve roast, small batch, and the donation, or whoever buys your beans will donate that money to Pedal for Alzheimer's. So we are doing stuff into the community and giving back in ways that it's going to be pretty cool.
What are your hours?
So Monday through Friday is 7 to 5. Saturday, Sundays 8 to 3. But we're not kicking people out if they come at 3:30. So.
One more question. I noticed your T-shirt. Is there any link between that and what you're selling?
No. No. Stay dangerous is it's well, it's kind of the epitome of me. You know, I black belt jiu-jitsu, fought for a lot of years, and this shirt is from a fighter. So it's
personal.
Yeah, but yeah, it's been fun.
So if anybody wants to taste it,
We'll be
they
here.
can
Come over here and grab coffee, and we have Vermont maple syrup to put in your coffee. Cool.
If you want.
You got a pen, I just need you to sign this. We give a book to, I gotta read the name. The name of the book's Keep Lost to the City's Legacy. We give this to Pond Gap School. So
Nice.
So you'll sign that.
All right.
And then we also give a memento of you speaking, so you can have it on your desk.
Awesome.
Two of our taps are
Thank you.
cold teas. So like
So cool.
Oh.
Thank you, that was great. And if anybody wants to try the coffee, it's over there.
And pineapple are on nitro taps that are cold.
Reminder,
And then we can make anything else.
at the Wesley House tomorrow, the World Rotary Day. You can help out in the morning. And then I wanted to thank Mark Morrell for showing up today. Thanks, Jim, for bringing him. Any other announcements? Next week, we've got Keisha Water, Flatwater Tales Rotary Storytelling Festival. I think she's from Oak Ridge.
That's correct.
Rotary. And four-way test. Dick, can you lead us?
I certainly can. Before we test, please say, do. First,
Is it the truth?
Second,
Is it fair to all concerned?